Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Argentine for Kalterkrieg. Different mods. So let us continue on from last us off. I think overall things seem to be going well. We're doing everything in our power to make sure that the dictatorship lasts for as long as possible. We're trying to break the Democrats in any way that we possibly can. What do we want now? Okay, so for our technology, do we have anything in Air Force? No. Okay, we do have some 48 aircraft. So, you know what, let's start developing some of these bad boys. We only have 4 research slots. Hopefully we can maybe get a few more into the future. But I think right now, overall, it's still looking pretty good. The Ruckin program decisions, brick by brick. Let's try to repair the island to the best of our ability. And anything else we can do against you, because we still have like a year and a half. We got a long time until the Enabling Act actually expires. Fund the DNAP. DNA, are they the... I actually don't know what faction DNAP are. But you know what? Okay, so they're a right-wing workers' party. You know what? Sure. Give them some cash. Let's implement some ministry reforms. Let us crack down on the socialist. Things, I think, are looking pretty good. So the Algiers Conference. The French political and colonial apparatus has just finished a week-long conference in Algiers. The conference completely upended the French status quo. French President Albert Chirac spoke following a final declaration saying it's time for our attitude towards Africa to change. The old ways are no longer sufficient. French government and its Prime Minister, Pierre Mendès, debated 2 choices. The first was proposed by Pierre Mendès, who proposed the state of Africa to be given autonomy. The states in Africa be given autonomy, but still under an umbrella known as the French Community. On the other side, conservatives in the Parti Social Francais advocated for the French Union, fully integrated Africa as core French territories, and ensuring that all people are converted to French culture, language, and religion. Unclear what path the French Republic will take. The battle for its future, the French colonial empire, will play out in Marseille for the rest of the decade or longer. That is, of course, unless we can maybe, theoretically, I don't know if this is possible, maybe fund some rebel activity in Africa. We have 75 slots. Wait, so who has 75 slots available? Like 75 is a maximum. 6 civilian factories. It's like this, like Tokyo? Does Tokyo they have 27 slots? So I'm guessing in some way there's a way to get up to 75. I wonder what that is though. 37 in New York. So it seems like the economies of countries is able to go ludicrous if you're able to have 75 factories in a single state. Like, what's the base game? What's the max in the base game? Is it 30? I don't actually remember off the top of my head. As the German state apparatus continues to modernize under Bradau's leadership, attention must inevitably turn towards the top of the hierarchy. There must be some changes to the ministries to bring them in line, though what these changes have not been decided. To this end, Bradau has sought the advice of Herbert von Boss on possible ways to improve the ministries and efficiency of the state. The conversation was a productive one. While Boss presented several ideas that would eliminate redundancy, empower the imperial cabinet, and streamline the current system, it would result in a more efficient government, bringing a much-needed modernization to administration. It is an extensive overhaul that would require significant changes and is likely to draw opposition even within the state. But the results would almost certainly be justified. Will almost certainly justify the disruption inflicted. Yes, let's have some radical change, please. Civilian administration, infiltrate, do some ciphers, resistance contacts. Things, we need 2 agents. I don't have 2 agents, unfortunately. But, you know, let's go for more machine decryption. I mean, it's going to cost a lot of civilian factories, but I'm already spending so many civilian factories anyways. 61 on military spending, 13 on trade goods. The fact that we literally only have 9 civilian factories free is crazy to me. Republic of Argentina has ended the Brazilian-Argentine War. Its famous political paralysis is the death of President Manuel Carlos. It now appears that the period has come to an end. Today, the citizen of Buenos Aires awoke to the sound of gunfire and tanks in the streets as the Argentine army secured the capital, arresting the leaders of the Lingua Patriarch Argentina, who have ruled the nation as a dysfunctional collective over the last 2 years. Okay, so we got a little bit of a coup in Argentina. What else is new? Streamlining the cabinet. Beto's announcement of the reorganization of the ministries and the imperial cabinet was met with mixed response across the political spectrum and within the government itself. Despite approval from the Kaiser, it was not enough to stem the impact of the decision, as the consequences were quickly felt across the ministries. The new imperial cabinet has done away with much of the formerly redundant and Byzantine roles and the hierarchies within the ministries, merging several together, cutting or consolidating positions, and increasing the powers and responsibilities of each respective secretary, thus reducing the overall workload of the Reichschancellor. These changes were justified by Beto as being necessary for the modernization of the empire, which he promises will lead to improved efficiency, coordination, and prosperity for Germany and the Reichstag. However, in the process, many individuals part of the ministries have been demoted or removed, in a black cloud that lingers despite the attempts by the Reichschancellor to downplay it. Okay, well, thanks for the 10 political power. I do appreciate it. Now, we're getting so much stuff done here. The results of the Kalterkrieg plan trial. There was significant skepticism, and even outright opposition to von Krause's proposal to reform the Bundesrat. Despite contention, a compromise was agreed to, which would implement his ideas on a smaller scale, which would demonstrate their validity or lack thereof. Both supporter and skeptic alike eagerly awaited the results of the Kalterkrieg plan trial, as it was called, began. Due to the limitation of the trial, there was no definitive conclusion, but the trial clearly demonstrated that the ideal had merit, and were not only feasible, but also demonstrated results. In comparison to other elements of the Bundesrat, those under Kalterkrieg's trial were notably more efficient, and personnel able to achieve more with fewer resources. While there remain some questions as to how this could be applied to the entire Bundesrat system, even the skeptics were won over by the results. The data did not lie, and there was more than enough evidence to hold additional trials, and later, if they're also successful, full implementation. So how is that going? So we are now 42 out of 124 support. So we've given basically everybody more votes. Prussia is just like so far and above everybody else. Oh yeah, by the fact we're at 42, we definitely have Austria, Prussia, but I wonder what other state we have under our control here. National focus. Let's go for some tax breaks. We love to see it. And meeting with Erdmann. Organized labor is one of the most vulnerable parts of many societies, and Germany is unfortunately not an exception. It is through organized labor that syndicalism was able to successfully infiltrate and subvert by making promises and offering power to trade unions across the world. Unions were the heart of syndicalism, and labor the lifeblood. However, labor is not doomed to syndicalism, but it must be confronted. The best way to protect Germany against this threat is by inoculation. By cultivating a loyal labor movement, that we can eliminate the appeals on lies of syndicalism and remove the easiest vector from which they can threaten us. This will require resources and time, and it begins by investing it in cultivating the relationship with the DNAP, a minor political party who has a connection to many trade unions, and whose leadership is friendly to us. They're also certainly to be appreciative of the funding, and will understand that so long as they ensure the loyalty of the working man, they will continue to be supported by the Empire. So are they, in here? The DNAP. Okay, yeah. So they have 15 seats in total. So they're definitely a smaller union party than the SPD for sure. What about missiles? You require early Semitic radar or improved rocket engines. Are we getting that? No, okay, we need to get you first. Okay, let's get the radar. Let's upgrade our missile program so that Germany will have the best and brightest missiles. Complaints from the secretaries. The streamlining of ministries has led to an extensive number of complaints and concerns from numerous secretaries. Several appeared unprepared for the increased workloads and are unclear certain details of the departments that they've inherited, and are dealing with confusion and anger from personnel negatively affected by the reorganization. The number of complaints across ministries has also been greater than anticipated, and there appears to be widespread skepticism and disapproval of the reorganization. Should the secretaries fail to adjust to their new needs or duties, the gains appreciated by the decision will not materialize as soon as we had hoped. However, a period of adjustment is necessary, and for now we will do the best to ensure to assuage their concerns and remind them of their duties to the Empire. If this fails to motivate them, then additional measures may have to be considered. Tell them it'll all be for the best. Okay, so we have some good political power. Let us split the liberals if we're able to do that. We're going to get like so many events very, very soon because these are all going to pop off. And each one is going to give us a new event. Conservative staff the foreign ministry. With the appointment of Ernst von Weizsäcker to the Foreign Office, there has been a moderate flow of civil servants to and from other departments, as those conservative-minded gentlemen who still work for the government have sought to gain a transfer to the ministry. Most of the more experienced staff has remained in place, however, which has meant that there is very little to be concerned about, aside from the question of how exactly loyal they are to the DNEF and the Kaiser's will. I'm sure they're very skilled, but do they actually support us? And the government of the 20th century. While there has been difficulties and hurdles in the process of streamlining the state bureaucracy, the dust has settled. Enough time has passed to praise the results. Fortunately, these initial indications are positive. Despite the initial disruption, the ministries have fallen into a regular rhythm and are functioning more efficiently than they have before. The increased responsibilities and authorities of each minister have allowed them greater flexibility to address and resolve issues as they arrive. Under the certain guidance of the Reich Chancellor, they are now, stands truly a modern government, one that is appropriate and capable to meet the challenges of the age that Germany finds itself in. The inefficiencies and failures of the previous archaic system have been swept away. The future is here, and the Empire is well prepared to meet it. Well, you've broken Russian ciphers, so I guess we'll then go and try to break some Canadian ones next. I mean, they resolve pretty quickly, which I'm very happy to see. And let us restrict circulation. Yeah, let's restrict circulation of other newspapers as well. We really, really, really want to just clamp down on every single aspect of society as harshly as we possibly can. Which hunts against the socialist officials. Our efforts to turn the public against the socialist sympathizers within our government has had an effect that we didn't anticipate. Some German citizens have begun taking actions on their own hands against perceived syndicalist traitors. There are also several reports of groups of these self-organized activists following insulting known left-wing politicians, sending several to the hospital with severe physical injuries. While these politicians are our political enemies, we have no evidence that they're actually syndicalists or hold such sympathies, and if left to continue, it is likely that these attacks will be fatal. This campaign has had consequences beyond anticipated. We can make it clear that this kind of conduct is unacceptable and take action against those self-appointed vigilantes. Alternatively, we can add them to our arsenal of options and let them continue, giving some guidance and direction where appropriate. You know what? Let us subtly encourage the activist. Okay, how did the economy grow? 1.085, baby. Oh, damn. I mean, the economy's looking pretty nice. We'll become spy master. Why not? We'll get 2 more spies. Queen Wilhelm has abdicated. The Queen of the Kingdom of the Netherlands has today announced her intention to abdicate from the throne, reportedly due to concerns for Her Majesty's declining health and her advancing age. After the death of her brother, she became the sole heir to the throne, and she had reigned from the death of her father, His Majesty King Wilhelm III, in 1890. During her reign, she endured the 2 Weltkriegs that faced the world, the later of which resulted in the subsequent French occupation of her beloved kingdom, and the loss of the Indonesian jewel to the Japanese. Despite this, she is still deemed the mother of the nation, and she remains so for decades to come. Royal House of Netherlands announced that Her Royal Highness Princess Juliana will be crowned as the next monarch of the Netherlands. Okay, so we got a new queen in the Netherlands. Good for them. And radical newspapers have been banned. Over the course of several days, some moderately sized and popular papers have been officially shut down by German law enforcement officials, finding them in violation of several provisions included in the recently amended Press Censorship Act. These papers were known for their radical liberalism, and their writers were often accused or implied to have even more radical left-wing and even syndicalist sentiments. While these are the first papers to be brought in line with the Bredo's centralization efforts, they will almost certainly not be the last. It is expected that there will be more papers, particularly those affiliated with the political opposition, which will need to be shut down before a new normal can be established. This period will be difficult, but eventually it will be ensured that no more dangerous, radical, or illegal ideas can infest the minds of the German public. So the National Populist, Authoritarian, Socialist will be a little bit less popular. Should maybe give us a little bit more support. Just because, you know, they lose party support and that goes kind of to everybody else. We're at 48%. I mean, I think we had 45 an episode or 2 ago, so we're definitely becoming more popular with the people. The GGB splits. The Gewerkschaftenbund has served as the umbrella organization for labor for many years, supported and maintained by the DNEF and by extension the state. It has done well in keeping a significant portion of trade unions under control, though this has not stopped smaller, more independent and SPD-backed trade unions from growing as well. It's time that this has changed. Else it risks a larger alliance or movement of the trade unions growing that is outside of our control. We will begin taking steps to both solidify the GGP as the premier alliance of trade unions, along with making sure that those outside of the GBB are hampered. This need not to be overt yet. We will employ regulations, fines, and other pressures brought to bear by the state against those smaller trade unions, many of whom lack the resources or unity to withstand these pressures. With a little time and sustained pressure, these independent or rival trade unions will either be disbanded or join a GGB. Regardless, any political threat that they pose will be reduced, and therefore strengthen our hold over organized labor as a whole. So what are we? We're currently at 43%. This will get us up to 48. And that's going to get us to 54. And then you will get us up to 59. So we need to be up to 80, I think. Was that the number? No, we need to be at 100%. Okay. Okay, so we've gotten our new trucks. We've also gotten a new tank as well. Your basic light tank. And what are you? You are a first generation main metal tank. We don't actually build any light tanks. So, probably won't worry about that too much at this exact time. What about secret weapons? Let's upgrade flamethrowers. I'm kind of actually finding it interesting that a technology actually makes other people like you less. But you know what? If you don't like me, I will simply set you on fire. Does that affect everybody? No, these might not do anything yet. And then you are for better bombs. For our industry, and you're all 1951 techs. A little too expensive for me right now. Anything else for 1950 or 1948, I should say? Or what about do we have any trains? No, trains are already pretty much maxed out. Naval support. You're also a little ahead of time. I mean, we get naval mine avoidance plus 50%. Sure, why not? Extending the spear campaign. The current propaganda operations against the SPD and the left wing have proven their effectiveness and sharply blunted the appeal of those who are sympathetic to the syndicalist cause to the public. This success has prompted a proposal by security officials aimed at ensuring that the gains from the shift in public opinion are solidified by expanding the range of targets, specifically among the liberal parties. This would ideally force a divide within the larger liberal party, and perhaps even cause a split within the party. The proposal has been met with significant uncertainty. While there are some clear benefits, the drawbacks are also just as clear. There have been times when liberals have been willing to support our agenda. Many are also firmly anti-syndicalist, and even if they maintain some progressive views on certain economic and social issues, tarnishing their reputations might not just risk unrest among the public, but also hurt our own agenda. However, many socialist syndicalists are also once liberals. Perhaps the solution is to remove the weeds at the root. Okay, so we get more war support. You know what? Let's not target the liberals right now. It's going to be a little bit counterproductive to what we want to do. We'll not break Russian ciphers right now because we're not even at war with them, so I don't think that would actually do anything for us. And you know what? Let's actually start shifting some of these units around. We'll do something like... I think something like that for now. Let's put more units on the border with Russia. The 1948 DNAP Conference. Because of our efforts to fund the DNAP, along with cultivating allies among organized labor, we've received dividends in the form of this year's DNAP Conference, where both the party and labor leaders made clear their support for the empire, and extolled the efforts and support of the state for the common working man. Not only was syndicalism and other socialist strains absent, they were actively condemned as lies to lead the working man astray. Empire, fatherland, Kaiser, these are the words repeatedly spoken to the cheers of those in the attendance. While doubtless not all the organized labor is convinced or even supportive of us, it's clear the majority have been won over, and we have almost certainly blunted any syndicalist effort to turn our people against us, and taken another decisive step in ensuring our total victory over those who would plot against us. A defeat for Marxism, a victory for the Einstrand. Okay, so 10 SPD deputies will join the pro-government DNAP. So actually, are they well, they're not actually supporting us quite yet. Also, I don't know if this actually updated. Oh wait, we're passing a law. Oh wait, this counts as a law? Oh, I should have read that. Okay. Let's get support from the DNAP. So this one right now, it will fail. We need 208 votes. Let's bring the rightist and the Zentrum on side. So that is going to be... So we're at what? 182... The Strassermites? The LVP? I guess that's like the right wing. 214. Okay, so this will pass. Excellent. So can I press this now? Okay, so I'm assuming it means the law has passed. Does that bypass this? No, I don't think so. But hey, we passed our voting on law. Now it needs to go to the Bundesrat. Okay, that makes sense. It's got to go to it's got to go to the Senate afterwards. So what do we need? We need 62 votes. We're at 42 right now. So let's get Bavaria on side. That'll get us up to 54. The thing is, every other state is just tiny. Either Reichstag, now we don't need to worry about them. Let's go Brunswick. Anhalt. That'll get us up to 59, so we need 2 more. Because they all only give 2 votes, so... That'll get us up to 61. We're not gonna lose by 1 vote, right? That'd be silly. We only need 5 political power, so we can just press U, and then we can get our law. We have now passed tax reform in Germany. And again, I don't know if this bypasses if the law has been passed. I don't believe so. I think it just finishes. Okay, that's fine though. That's fine. So we passed our tax break, industrial subsidies. You don't require a vote, so we can just do that immediately. And for our new operatives, you know what? I think let's start trying to gather some intelligence on Russia. Let's infiltrate the armed forces. Who's over here? Wolf. And then you guys can just commence when ready, prepare operations, figure out what the hell you can about Russia right now. But I will say, with the passing of the tax law, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. If you enjoyed it, thumbs up. Not enjoyed, you some down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.